Welcome to the Professionalist Real Estate Investing Podcast with your host, Tony Jacobs. This podcast is not just about making money. It's about creating a legacy that stands the test of time. From analyzing market trends to mastering negotiation skills, we will leave no stone unturned as we guide you through different stages of real estate investing. We will bring on industry leaders and share stories from the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. So now, it's time to level up your real estate game. And there's no better way to do it than right here with us at the Professionalist Real Estate Investing Podcast.
Good evening, Tony.
What's going on, Rob?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I got that energy today.
That's right. Well, let's get at it.
Okay. How about this episode? This episode is going to be about passive investing.
All right.
So, off the top of your head, because I'm going to read the definition after you say you answer this. What is a multifamily syndication?
A multifamily syndication is a real estate deal that is so large that the average investor can't jump into it feet first by themselves, or they're unwilling to. And so they get together a group of people that you would call a syndication. And together, that group of people is able to then purchase the property.
That's a pretty good definition right there off the top of your head. I like that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I'm going to read you the definition of multifamily syndication. A multifamily syndication boils down to anything in which your group pulls together money to purchase an asset, similar to what you were saying. In the context of multifamily real estate, investors put together funds to buy an apartment building of the size and scale which would have been out of reach for an individual. Exactly like you said.
Yeah.
Man, did you read this?
No. I've never seen that before in my life.
These syndications are divided into two groups. The general partnership, which is the deal sponsor or active role, and the limited partnership, which are the passive investors. A sponsor is responsible for locating the deal, coordinating the transaction and funding, and managing the investment once the transaction has been completed. In exchange for equity in real estate, passive investors provide the majority of the funds. So, basically what you said was on point.
Just worded differently.
Just worded differently, yeah. Now, why should you invest in multifamily syndication?
Well, the way I like to think about it is like this. If I'm a real estate investor and I invest in homes for people, okay? From the investor side, okay?
Yes.
From the investor side, if I'm investing in homes and I have a bunch of single family homes, say I have 5, okay?
Okay.
One of those homes becomes vacant. I lose 1/5 of my income until I can get that property filled again, which usually requires some sort of renovation, marketing, landscaping. There's various things. So then if I own an apartment complex, say, with 15 apartments, and one of those apartments becomes vacant, I lose 1/15 of my income.
That's a great way of putting it right there.
So the goal for me as an investor is not necessarily to have a ton of buildings, but I'd rather have a ton of doors within those buildings. So I would look at trying to get up to a certain amount of doors rather than a certain amount of properties.
Man, I swear you're thinking on my level right now. You said doors, and that was it. It's exactly right there. How many doors can you get? So, yeah. I always break that down to people when it comes to with real estate, with residential and commercial. Would you rather have one door under one roof, or would you have 15 doors under one roof? But it's either here nor there sometimes because it depends on what's best for that person when it comes to investing. But if you really want to get into some money, commercial is the way to go. But some people can't get in commercial. Some people only feel that they can get in residential.
Well, that's why there's a wonderful thing called syndication, right?
Exactly.
That's it. So that you don't have to be scared about jumping into something feet first by yourself. You're going in with a group.
Yes, a group. Where, like you said, where one person cannot purchase that big amount by themselves.
And so that's what I think the best thing about a real estate syndication is that there's two types of partners in a real estate syndication. Within the syndication, you have what's called a limited partner and you have a general partner. Yes. And so your limited partner, that's your money man. That's the guy who's coming to you and wants to get that 10% annual return on investment and then their principal back after a certain amount of time that's usually determined within the contract.
Yes.
But the general partner, which is you and I, we're the people that are doing all the legwork. We're doing the due diligence. We're running the numbers. We're doing all the things to make sure that when you give us your money so that we can invest it into these syndications together as a team, that you're not losing your money, that you're actually gaining money this whole time and that it's a safe investment. Through the real estate syndication, it can give both parties a sense of peace so that you can sleep well at night, knowing that your money is growing over time. And while not necessarily counting your chickens before they hatch, you're also not playing the stock market, which, if you're paying attention to the way the banking system in the United States is right now, it don't look too good.
No, actually, it hasn't looked good for a long time. So that's how it's going to put you. If you put your money into a savings account, it's not going to work for you. Put it in the stock market, your money's not going to work for you. But when you invest in real estate syndication deal, your money works in multiple ways. So what would those ways be off the top of your head? I'm kind of like doing a little questionnaire off top with you.
It works. Don't worry about it. I'm not sweating. So the different ways that money could work for you as an investor. So I'm not sure. I need you to explain this one to me.
The first one, you're going to be like, yep, it's going to be cash flow.
Oh, yeah. I should have known that.
Yeah. So when it comes to cash flow, investing in real estate syndication, you can create a passive cash flow. You create a new stream of passive income for yourself and all your family members, and you can bring one step closer to financial freedom, which is so true when it comes to multifamily syndication.
Right. That's, for me, that's the most attractive aspect to multifamily syndication is the amount of cash flow that you can get monthly, annually, whichever, is exponentially greater than if you're in single family real estate.
Yes.
Even in commercial real estate where you're doing retail spots, unless you have a strip mall, if you just have a couple little retail buildings with mom and pop places in it, it's basically the same thing as having single family homes.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you won't get much out of it.
I'm certain your tax rate's different because it's considered commercial real estate.
Yes.
But it's terrible. Look at the way that the pandemic just treated everybody and how many businesses closed down. It went out. And how many buildings do you still see around your local town where it's just open spaces for lease?
Yeah, because like I said, when I was talking in the last episode, pandemic changed everything. So everybody work from home. You got a strong internet connection. You got a laptop, computer. Do everything from home. So why need offices at all?
That's it.
Yeah. The next one after cash flow would be leverage.
Okay.
And a syndicator can use borrowed money to purchase the property as well as the capital of other investors in the group and the skills and performance of their general partner. I shouldn't say performance. I should say experience with a general partner because that general partner, he has tons of experience adds into this. If you have a good leader that is help provide this syndication, like they have years of experience, you can always talk to them, ask them what their portfolio is, and they have no problem responding to that. They shouldn't have a problem responding to the question that you ask about, hey, is it possible if I can see your portfolio? Because they want to know what's going on with their money. It's not like, here, I'm going to give you $50,000 and do whatever you want to with it. They want to know how this cash, how is this multifamily going to generate money for them? It's an investment.
Right, exactly. And personally, I would feel not at all at ease with somebody who was not honest with me about what was going on. And if somebody was to ask you a question and you would lie to them and they would catch you in a lie, what do you think that would do to your business credit? Yes. Not necessarily with the banks, but with other business people. What do you think that's going to do to your word and your reputation?
That could be a sinking ship that goes down really fast.
Exactly. So if somebody asks you questions about something and you don't know the answer to it, don't try to lie. Just be honest and say you don't know.
Yeah. I tell people, if I don't know something, I'll find out the answer for you. And if I don't find the answer for you, I will take you to a person, a reliable source that does know the answer.
That's it right there. I think that's the most important skill that we've picked up over the last couple of years is if we don't have the answer, we can get the answer.
Yes. Yes, exactly. The next part after cash flow and leverage is equity and appreciation. So when it comes to commercial real estate, value is based on income, and that creates opportunity for forced appreciation. Have you ever heard that?
Forced appreciation.
Yeah. So by increasing income or reducing expenses, the operators can manually pull the levers in which increase the value of the building. So this strategy is known as the value add investing and makes a multifamily as much more controllable and predictable growth assets compared to the wild fluctuations when it comes to real estate investing in the residential side.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So then I think that goes beyond just multifamily as well these days, because we're seeing a lot of places pop up with like multi-use buildings.
Yes.
So instead of just how we were talking about a minute ago, buildings where if you own a building and it's just a mom and pop real estate or
mom and pop shop.
Yeah, commercial whatever in there. It makes a lot more sense for you to have the store down below, the retail spot below, restaurant, whatever it may be, and then above it have an apartment or two.
Yes.
Then if the business goes out, you're not losing your whole butt. But then also for a lot of people, it makes sense for them to want to live above their business. If you start a small business, okay, and you run a restaurant and you've got to open up your restaurant at 5:00 in the morning to help people get their biscuits, you want to be there at 3:30 in the morning to be getting that dough in the oven, right?
Yes.
So wouldn't it be easier if you just walk downstairs?
I just really thought something off the top of my head because I used to live back east. A lot of people back east, New York, New Jersey, Philly, that's what a lot of them do. They live above their business. So when you that clicked in when you said that, I was like, hold on a second, that's the reason why a lot of them live above their business is because of that.
That makes total sense. And for anyone listening and that doesn't know, we're in California. So the real estate game out here is changing right now as more and more people continue to influx into the state. And the fires have been burning down whole towns over the last 10 years. People have been trying to figure out how to deal with the housing crisis that we're having out here. And one of the things that we're seeing is these houses or apartments being put in above stores, above restaurants.
Yes.
And so you have multi-story buildings now where the bottom is somewhere where you could go in and spend your money, but then the top floors are places where you could go in and actually live.
Yes. Yeah, that structure is completely different, but now it has migrated over here And as we can tell where we live at, we see a lot of that now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's all over the place now. They're popping up like crazy.
Yeah. So the last one, from cash flow to leverage and equity and appreciation, is my favorite one. A lot of people don't like this word. I like the word because there's just so much that's dealt with it, is tax advantage.
I like the advantage part of that.
But like I said, last podcast, the government gives you a blueprint. It's not a hidden secret. It's just how you use what they have.
Attention realtors. First impressions are so important for real estate sales. Having a clean logo with easy-to-read information can impress a buyer and potentially get you that sale. Here at Boundary Waters, we excel at first impressions. If you need a logo or lawn signs, give us a call. Our experience at signs and banners have been proven for over a decade. Give us a call, 530-221-2151. Again, that's 530-221-2151. Boundary Waters Screen Printing, home of the Surf Ninja. www.boundarywatersinc.com.
That's true. That's very true. We don't need to get further into how I feel about taxes right now. That's for another episode.
Right. So the tax advantage of cost segregation, we'll talk a little bit about that real quick, and accelerated depreciation are two major reasons why many investors love multifamily properties. Both features help to decrease your overall tax burden by showing losses on paper, thus allowing you to enjoy ongoing cash flow in real life. So what would be your definition of cost segregation? Because I know a lot of people don't know that word of cost segregation.
So basically, in layman's terms, cost segregation is coming into an asset and separating out the different things that can depreciate with time. So everything except the land.
Yes.
So you're looking at like your building, your electrical wires, your tubing that your electrical wires run through, your plumbing, your paint, your carpet, your wood floors, your roof, your walls, the wood that your building is built with, or the cement that your building is built with. All of these things through the IRS actually have what do they call it? A lifetime use, or
the lifespan.
A lifespan. Yeah,
yes.
A usage lifespan. And essentially, throughout that time, the amount that you initially paid for it, it becomes worth less and less and less as it's worth, or as the usage becomes less and less and less. And so you can actually claim that as a loss on your taxes. And so cost segregation, from what I understand, the best cost segregation that you can experience is done by a CPA, somebody who's actually creative and actually knows what the tax code is and can come in and help you determine, based on those lifetimes that the IRS provides, how much money you can deduct from your taxes every year, because you're actually experiencing a loss, while at the same time your property is appreciating in value, and so your ROI is actually going up. You're avoiding those taxes by having a loss on paper. And so that's where the tax advantage actually comes in, and you can avoid a little bit of that theft.
Yes. So off the tip of my head, because man, you got some valid points right there. The cost segregation, it's a powerful engine when it comes to everything. But like the gem, especially what you said right there, this is the reason why I love real estate, because you're going to get appreciation of your property and depreciation at the same time with your property. And that's a beautiful thing.
Right. So that actually, the cost segregation, I don't think it's a powerful engine in this whole thing. I think it's the most powerful engine in this whole thing, period.
Yes.
Because if you don't have proper cost segregation, you're going to end up paying out the wazoo. I know this guy. I work in a hospital, and I know this guy who works in one of the departments in the hospital that I work in. And he and I were talking one day, and he owns an Airbnb. And I asked him if he was using cost segregation to deal with the depreciation of some of the parts of his asset so that he didn't have to pay as much taxes. And he asked his CPA about that. And his CPA said, no, we just pay the taxes so you don't get audited. Wait a minute. Excuse me? You what? I told him right then, fire that guy and you need to get somebody better because that's ridiculous. So you don't get audited. So you have a tax person and their job is to deal with the IRS, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when the audit comes down, as long as you have all your paperwork, whose job is it then to deal with the IRS?
The CPA.
So then that's a lazy person that you have hired to do a job for you and you should fire them immediately.
Let this be known to people when it comes to CPAs. When you talk to a CPA and you're dealing with real estate investing, please, and I repeat, please make sure they know about real estate investing and how you can use it for the tax advantages. Because I, myself, have talked to a CPA before. And when I talked to the gentleman, he was nice, cordial, and I was speaking, it sounded like I was speaking foreign to him because of the words I was using about cost segregation and depreciation and appreciation. And he had no idea what I was talking about. So you know what I did? Gave him 2 fingers and said, peace.
That's right. So basically what you want to try to avoid is anybody who works at H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, or any of those tax places.
Yeah, those are not true CPAs.
No, you don't want a tax person who just does simple filings, you need a legit person.
Yes, and that's the main thing when it comes to it. You have to know about real estate. Real estate can save you so much in taxes. That's why the first thing I said was cash flow. Second thing, leverage. Third, equity and appreciation. And fourth, to me, it's either 1A or 1B. It depends on what day. Tax advantages. Because, like I said, you got to have the right CPA person.
Right. Right. If you don't,
You don't.
you're paying.
Yes, you're definitely paying.
That's for sure.
So yeah, that definitely needs to happen. You have to have it. And you know what? Like people get interviewed for jobs, and like I basically did a little light interview with that CPA, and he wasn't speaking my language, so I had to go. So if you get a CPA person, yeah, you need to have a little interview with them so to make sure to know exactly what they're doing, and if they don't know what they're doing, then move on to the next person.
That's why it's really important to sit down and have a cup of coffee or something with somebody before you really get into business with them so you can get a sense of who they are. And you guys can really have a conversation about what you're going to be doing business with, what type of business are you going to be doing. And you can figure out whether or not it's a good fit between you two. Because while that guy might have been good at what he did, he was not good at what you needed.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to go try and buy a jackrabbit when I need a donkey to pull a plow.
Good way of putting it. So this is the first part of the passive part of multifamily syndication. The next episode, we're going to talk about how is multifamily syndication structured. We hit a couple points on it. how you was talking about the general partnership and the big general partner and the limited partner.
Yeah.
So we're going to go about that, and like we're going to talk about their duties, and then we're going to who can invest in apartment syndication. Do you need to be an insurance agent? Do you need to be a CPA agent, or can you just be a person that works a 9-to-5 job, or can you just be a person that just won the lottery? Who knows? We'll find out
On another episode.
and then we'll there's a couple more things. We'll the one right now that I will talk about too in our next one is, can multifamily investments hedge against inflation? I think that's prime time right there. Are we in inflation right now?
I think we're in inflation for sure.
Yeah, I believe we're pretty deep into it. I went to the store yesterday, and it was something that, like, just FYI, I there's these toothbrushes I get.
Okay.
And it's called it's the Pulse toothbrushes, and they're really, really nice. I mean, they keep the pearly whites and everything. I looked at the price of it and I said, "You gotta be serious." I said, "This must be the price of eggs right here." So our next episode, we're going to talk about the structure of multifamily. Can it help us through inflation? So we're going to give some hidden gems out there. So stay tuned. We have another one coming, and please follow us on this channel. And I want to also express too that we do have our website up. So each Monday, I'm going to post a blog that people can read about. It's going to be, of course, it's about real estate investing podcast. So the website is theprofessionalistrealestateinvesting.com is our website. So please join, subscribe. We're going to have videos, informational videos, educational type videos for people to understand when it comes into real estate. We're going to make it as simple as possible. We're not going to make it complicated. We just want people to learn out there. I mean, this information is free, but we want to put it out there so people can understand how far they can go with their future.
That's it right there. And we'll have all the links for anything that we throw out in any of our episodes will definitely always be in the show notes.
Yes.
If we have books that we read or anything like that, we'll definitely have the information on where you can acquire that same material in the show notes as well.
Yes, indeed. All right, Rob, this is a good one. The second one's going to be even better. I'm going to I have this energy today, so I'm coming back with this energy. A close friend of mine, he's like, "Tony, I need to hear that energy from you today." I'm like, you know what? You're going to hear it from me today. I got a lot of stuff to say, and it's on my mind, so I'm going to have to take it off my mind.
That's right.
All right. Well, till next time, we'll see y'all.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you, guys.
You too.